How's it going, guys? Got my shirt off for this video. We're gonna be talking about how to socialize for introverts, but I just wanted to show you guys the gains real quick. Fucking the gym gains. It's looking good. It's looking good. This is one of the first times I've had my shirt off on this channel. So obviously you don't know what I used to look like, but it's a lot better right now than what I used to look like. So just wanna show that to you guys. I am pretty proud of the gains right now. So it's just part of the process, you know, improving all areas of life. So let's get into it though. If you're an introvert and you want to socialize, you want to have, a bigger social circle, have more social interactions, kind of just have some stuff going on to where you're not like lonely. It's very possible, guys. It's a little more complicated than for extroverts, but it's entirely possible. So there's a few things I want to mention in this video that are going to help you significantly to just build a nice social circle and have a nice social life as an introvert. So first of all, thing you got to remember is if you're an introvert, you're an introvert. I see it as a spectrum, so we're not like either one or the other, but if you're more on the introvert side of the spectrum, that's just where you're at. That's fine. You don't need to like try and teach yourself to be an extrovert or try and like change your personality or whatever it is. Just recognize that you're a bit more of an introvert, and that means you need to socialize less than most extroverts. So, a lot of extroverts might be completely fine going like 10 hours hanging out with friends, constantly 10 hours straight, and that's like rejuvenating for them. It fills them up with energy, and it's only after like 10, 12 hours that they actually get kind of tired and start wanting to go home. If you're more of an introvert, that might be 1 to 4 hours or so. I get pretty tired of socializing after about 4 or 5 hours, and at that point I just want to go home. Just remember, you should go home if you want to go home. If you're not wanting to socialize anymore, I'm gonna blow my nose real quick, but if you don't want to socialize anymore, don't try and keep socializing. Just go home. Like that's your mind telling you what it needs. So don't try and force it. You should stay out and interact with people for as long as you can be engaged. As long as you can actually be present in the conversation, then you're fine to just stay out. But as long as, as soon as your mind starts to like lose focus and you're not really in it anymore and you're just there because you've been there, that's when you need to go home. If you're more introverted, you know how that feels. Like you've been hanging out with people for the past 3 hours and you just get a sudden like dip in, not necessarily like energy in terms of like feeling awake and being able to do things, but just that social energy where like you just don't want to talk to anybody anymore. You just want to go home, do your own thing. That's perfectly fine. Just actually get in tune with that and learn to listen to that feeling. So that was the first thing. That's like the basis of everything. You gotta just meet yourself where you're at and realize that when you get tired of socializing with people, that's when you gotta stop socializing with people. And it's actually important to go home after that, because once you hit that point, you get diminishing returns. Your interactions actually start to be kind of shit and not enjoyable anymore, both for yourself and the other people you're interacting with. So not only are you not going to be having fun, the people you're talking to are not going to enjoy talking to you anymore, and it's going to give you the wrong feedback about socializing. So let's say you spend half of your time past that point where you're too tired to really talk to people, but you're still talking to people. that means half of all your experience of socializing is going to be a negative experience. So it's probably no wonder that you actually don't want to go out. If you cut it off immediately, then yeah, if you just stay out for as long as you can enjoy it and be engaged, and then as soon as you hit that drop off, you just go home, dip out. That's going to keep all your feedback about socializing very positive, and it's actually going to make it easier in the long term. So that's the first point. This is shaping up to be a pretty long video already, but bear with me. So, first point was realize where you're at and learn to listen to that. The second thing is you don't need to like be super loud. You don't need to talk a lot. You don't need to, do the typical things that come with socializing. It's actually very easy to socialize as an introvert because you can just listen. Like, as long as you can be engaged in a conversation, you don't have to be the one talking for most of it or even half of it. You can just listen to people. Like that has worked great for me. Like, sometimes I don't even have anything to say, or like, my social battery's getting a little drained. That's when I just like stop trying to engage as much and I'm just listening. And you can tell like by my eyes and my body language that like I'm listening, I'm still engaged in the conversation, but I'm not necessarily saying anything, and that's fine. Like, people still enjoy being around that. People still, as long as they're interacting with you, if they can see that you're listening, it's still going to be an enjoyable experience for your friends and the people you're socializing with. Now, third thing is it takes practice. It takes practice, and it runs kind of on momentum. So if you haven't been, let's say you've been just a hermit for the past year and you haven't really talked to anybody in the past year, it's going to be a lot harder. It's going to be a lot harder to talk to people because you're out of practice and you have no momentum. Like, if you haven't talked to anybody in the past year, no one is going to like necessarily think about you because you haven't been around for the past year. So at the start, it's going to be very difficult. It's kind of a grind at the start. But, hopefully you're not starting from not having talked to anybody in the past year. So wherever you're at, it's, you're probably not at that hermit for the past year stage. You probably have like at least one or two friends that you hang out with semi-regularly. I've got my vape here. I know it's not good, but trying to smoke less, so this helps. But yeah, guys, it's gonna be a little harder, but the more you do it, the easier it gets. Because if you start hitting up your old friends regularly and just to do stuff, hang out, like go to a bar, go to the gym, go to some event, they're gonna, you're gonna be in their minds more. So they're, eventually people are gonna start hitting you up to go out and do things. It's gonna become a lot easier. You build momentum through it. So I actually get to experience this again every year because I live in the US. I live in Oregon right now, but I grew up near Geneva, Switzerland, and at this point I basically only come back in the summers. I might start coming back in the winters as well, but I basically come back in the summer for 1 month at a time, and I just have to hit up all my old friends again and be like, yo, what are you doing? I'm in town. Let's do something. And like they don't fucking hit me up when I'm in Oregon because I'm in Oregon. Like, what am I gonna do? Fly whatever it is, 5,000 miles just to like hang out with them on a Thursday afternoon? Like, no, that's not gonna happen. So Unfortunately, they do all kind of forget about me during the year, but in the summer, I just start the engine back up, get that momentum rolling. And, now it's been a few weeks that I've been in town, and I've got multiple friends, hitting me up like, hey, what are you doing tomorrow? What are you doing today? Like, there's this event, there's this thing that we're going to do. And I start getting included in social interactions just by default because I've been doing that. I've been getting the ball rolling. So not only do you build momentum, but you actually, you start to like relearn the skills or just learn them for the first time. You learn, like how to interact with people. I do tend to go kind of into hermit mode for certain times of the year. Nothing wrong with that, but once you start to get a little lonely and a little weird in the head because of that, that's probably when you need to start socializing with people more. And like I said, it's hard at first, but the more you do it, the more you remember, like, oh yeah, it's kind of weird actually to just like blurt out something in the middle of conversation just because you heard of it or just because you thought of it. Like, actually let the person finish what they were saying. Just little things like that. You just pick things up and remember them. It just gets so much easier over time. So the more you do it, the more practice you get. First of all, the more momentum you're going to get, and the more your skills are going to become sharper, and it's going to actually just be easier to socialize. And then after that, it's usually first momentum, then it gets actually easy to talk to people, and then it gets comfortable. So you don't have the anxiety anymore of like, yo, I'm a little socially retarded right now. I forgot how to interact with people. Once you start, getting the ball rolling and getting your skills sharpened up a bit, you realize you're actually pretty decent at this. You're pretty good at this now. And then you can start to relax because you realize that you're doing a decent job at socializing. So that's, it helps out a lot over time, of course. Now, there is one thing I wanted to mention that I've realized pretty recently, actually. I've been doing this for a while, but I've only recently realized like how helpful it is for socializing. And that is, you have to make sure you're doing shit every day, like before you socialize. So it needs to be like a prerequisite. Like, I can't go out and hang out with people until I've done this one thing. So right now I'm taking summer classes. I need to be doing something every day to move forward in my classes. I'm actually ahead of schedule right now. It's currently Friday, and yesterday I finished all the stuff that's due this coming Sunday. So I'm already ahead of schedule right now because I do something every day. It's not just like because it's due, it's because it's a new day. I'm doing something more to move myself forward. So probably today, after I finish this video and after I read my book, because that's another thing I do every day, or try to do every day, is read at least 6 pages of a book. So that's kind of the small increment that's going to keep the habit going. Of course, I can read more, but that's the small increment to where if I just read those 6 pages in a day, then that's good. I've achieved, my reading goal for the day. And yeah, so it's just about getting stuff done. I was gonna say I'm gonna probably get a head start on next week today. After I finish this video and after I read, I'm just gonna start doing next week's homework that's due like next Friday, a week from now. Even though there's stuff due on Sunday, but I've finished the stuff that's due on Sunday. Here's why that's important in a social context. You might be thinking like, what is the point of this? Why does this matter? We're talking about interacting with people and socializing, not about, productivity, getting stuff done. Here's why it matters, guys. It's because you have other shit. I should stop swearing so much. It's because you have other stuff going on in your life apart from socializing. It's not like you're screwing around all day, like watching videos, jerking off, smoking weed all day, and then your friend hits you up at 4 p.m. and then you go and do that. Because then, not only have you wasted the first part of the day, you're not getting anything productive done the second part of the day, most likely. Unless, your friend's hitting you up for the gym or to get some work done, then you might, but that's very uncommon. I'm assuming if you hang out with people, you're not getting anything productive done. So you want to get that done before you go out, because that's going to keep you, it's going to keep you on track for your goals, because productivity is important. Whatever it is, you got to be working at something. Otherwise, you're just drifting through life. And that starts to affect your mental health in ways that are going to impact your socializing negatively. So just make sure you've accomplished something before you go out and talk to people. Make sure you've accomplished something that you're proud of, that you're happy about. That way, when you do go out and hang out with people, you're going to have that sense of accomplishment of like you have done something useful today. You've moved yourself closer to your goals. That's going to do a few different things when you're out talking to people. First of all, it's just going to change your demeanor around people, because you're like, you can sit back a little bit. You're like, okay, I've achieved what I needed to achieve today. I can relax a little. I can actually enjoy this social interaction. It frees up your mental space so that you can actually enjoy the interaction with your friends. That makes it way better, because if you wasted the first half of your day and then you go out and hang out with friends, that's probably going to be in the back of your mind like, damn, I didn't do anything earlier today. Maybe I'm going to need to catch up tomorrow. Hopefully that's how you think if you did waste the first half of the day. But most likely, you're just going to feel worse about yourself, You might not even be thinking that you need to catch up tomorrow. You're just going to be like, fuck, man. Like, I wasted basically the whole day. Like, you might be having fun with friends, which is worthwhile, but you have not achieved anything in your day to, like, move you closer to your goals. And that's just going to wear down on you. It's going to prevent you from being fully present in the interactions. So just having all that stuff done, or like a significant part of your goals done before you go out, is going to help free up your mental load. That way you can like actually be more present with the people you're spending time with. Second of all, it's actually going to make your interactions better because you have more interesting stuff to talk about. Right? Like, let that sink in, If you spend, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. just whatever it is, playing video games and smoking weed and jerking off, and then you go out with your friends and they're like, oh, what have you been up to, man? Like, just think about what you would say at that point. You're just gonna be like, oh, not much, just hanging out, And then it's like, oh, okay, whatever. And then the topic of conversation switches to something else because that was not interesting. It was not a valuable addition to the conversation, right? But a good example of the opposite of this is yesterday. I was talking with a couple of my friends. We were gonna meet up, and I said, "Hey guys, I have to go to the gym today." And so like I can't hang out at 4 p.m. because I'm gonna go to the gym. I'm gonna be free closer to 5 or 6 p.m. And then that was just like, that was an interesting little tidbit to throw in to the conversation. And then it just gives you something to talk about because it's on your mind. Then when I went out, we met up with a friend that we haven't seen in years. He's been going through some, well, not years, but this was the first time I'd seen him this year, and he's been going through it lately. He's been going through some tough times, and another one of my friends mentioned like, yeah, exercise has helped a lot. Just like working out has helped a lot with my mental health, because he's had some stuff in the past, and working out really helped him through that. And when he mentioned that, I was like, yeah, that's very true. That's very true. And that came from my lived experience of literally like 2 hours before, because I just got back from the gym, showered, and then went to meet these guys. So it just gives you a first person perspective on more interesting things to talk about. And I was like, yo, yeah, we can go to the gym together. Like I'm going back on whatever it is, Sunday. I need to get a better schedule for that, but yo, look at these shoulder striations, man. Hell yeah. This is why I'm gonna, see that shoulder vein? I'm gonna be posting more like fat loss guides, building muscle as well. It's obviously like, there's people who have more muscle than me, there's people who are leaner than me, but I have learned a good bit. So hopefully I can break it down like super simple for you guys. I just posted like a fat loss guide the other day. But yeah, guys, I'm happy about this. Like, got the obliques showing. I gained a couple pounds since I got back to Geneva, but abs are, there we go. There we go. You see the ab cuts? It's going good. It's going good. And this has just been from consistent effort. Once again, you get the momentum. But that's all to say, have shit going on before you go and talk to people. It's just gonna, counterintuitively, it's gonna make your interactions a lot better, because it frees up your mental space and you actually have shit to talk about. Like when people say, what have you been up to? Like if it's someone I haven't seen in a year, I'm gonna be telling them, I went back to school. I went back to college. Like I've been getting in shape, going to the gym. I tend not to say that because the results speak for themselves. Like they already know I've been hitting the gym. So I typically don't need to mention that. But yeah, I'll tell them like I've been going to school. I moved to a different city. Like obviously this isn't in the day-to-day, but your day-to-day is going to reflect that. When you can just mention like a funny anecdote from earlier, like, oh yeah, I met this guy at the gym. He had me, like literally yesterday, I met this guy at the gym. He had me bench 80 kilos, which I haven't done in years. I haven't done since I was, I weighed way more than 80 kilos. Now I'm lighter. I'm benching like more than my weight for some reps. And I didn't necessarily mention, I did not mention that last night, but it just gives you a few more talking points is basically all it is. On top of like freeing your mental energy, because there's probably stuff you want to be doing every day. Just make sure you've done that before you go out, because most likely you're not going to get it done after, like during or after you're socializing. So just make sure you get that done every day. I'm going to put my shirt back on. But yeah, guys, that's it for now. Let me know if you want more detail or less detail. And yeah, sorry, I thought I heard something. But yeah, I hope this was helpful for you guys. And I appreciate you watching. If you're still here, 24 and a half minutes in. It's been good talking. This isn't like everything. I'm probably gonna put like more of a full guide together here coming soon. But these were just like the very basics of, if you just do these 4 things, you're gonna be good to go. You're gonna make progress. So just as a little recap, don't try and change yourself. Realize that you're an introvert and be okay with that and adapt to that. Second of all, it's gonna take time, it's gonna take practice. You need to kind of get the ball rolling. So just get through the first, few weeks of slightly awkward conversations, but just get the ball rolling. It will get easier over time. There was a third thing. I don't know. But then make sure that you get something done before, before you go out. Whether it's, you might have a job, which is great, like go to your job, obviously. But if you have other stuff that you want to be doing, make that a condition for going out. And like you should be delaying socializing with people in order to hit your goals, because that's paradoxically going to make your interactions better. Right? It's going to free up your mental load. You're not going to be overthinking like, oh, I didn't do this today, like this sucks. No, you've done what you needed to do. Now you're enjoying some time with friends, and it's going to give you more interesting things to talk about during your conversations. So I hope this has been helpful, guys. I appreciate you watching, and I will see you very soon in the next video.